Good morning, everyone. Very misty, foggy, cloud inversion. I don't know what, but it's quite chilly as well. But the sun's trying to break through. Yes, we're back at Clashgore and Bridge of Orchy area, heading towards Loch Dochard. You've seen it so many times, but you probably haven't seen it this bad for mist and fog. The hut is just up there. I'm taking it nice and slow. We're camping tonight and for the next 6 nights, possibly 7. We'll see how it goes. Rations, food. I'm carrying 62 pounds on my back and I'm carrying 14 pounds as far as I know. I put car keys. Stella, get up. You silly girl. I was scared she was going to fall down the bank then. First time we've been back in the area for nearly 4.5, between four and a half and 5 months. I'll go into that, the reasons for that later. It's not through choice. Things were forced on me. So we're heading to that first plantation where, if you've seen my previous videos, where I've had the hot tent. And again, that's not through choice, it's through the heavy weight I'm carrying, and the dogs are carrying heavy packs as well. So and Stella, with her age, as I say, I'll go into that more later, but we're going to do hops, 4 or 5 mile hops. So tonight, stop at the plantation, crash out, get everything all sorted, go through some of the food, they'll go through some food, we'll all lighten up a bit. Then tomorrow we'll go to where I left off in March, just below the valleys on that embankment that's sheltered. One good thing about today, no midges. I got all deeted up for midges, and so far not a sign of a midge because it's so chilly and there's no breeze. So, and if it was a bit warmer, they'll be all over the place now. Right, so as I say, I'm staging it, taking it nice and easy. There is possibility, well, when I say possibly, a high chance of rain at 12 o'clock. So I've got to have that tent up for 12. That's all I care about. But how beautiful, eh? I've seen it in snow, scorching summer, blizzards, heavy rain. Never seen fog. Look at that stupid girl. At least she's happy. Don't hurt yourself. I'm scared she'll twist her spine or something. She is going to be soaking. You get cold later. Right, push on. Grass is soaking. So I've got a bin bag out because I'm carrying that in my hands and it's hitting the grass and the grass is making it wet. In the end it'll be soaked. I did order a rain cover, but my eBay seller let me down. Oh, people. Right, it's enough money. We're out here to enjoy ourselves, not mine. But damn eBay. It's so overgrown. I mean, I've been here probably the last 3 years, all different months, definitely summer, and definitely around this time as well. And this track normally is so trodden, that it's so defined, you know what I mean? But this is the best bit of track, but some places about there, the track's just disappearing. And I've looked, can't see no other tracks. And I know this route off part, but I'm noticing a lot of break-offs now. Erosion. Rebel, stop picking ticks up. So it's damn hard work. It's very boggy. So I know Scotland's had the whole UK's had a bad summer. We are lucky where we are in the central part of the UK. We've had a really good summer. We've had 2 good months of hot weather. But I'm hearing people saying Scotland that's been terrible. It's been one of the worst since 2012, some are saying. So I'm guessing it hasn't been getting much footfall up here. And no one's been up here this morning or anything like that because there's cobwebs. If you eat the grass, you will be sick, you daft dog. But baby said, look at her, she's fine, isn't she? You're saturated, Stella, from rolling in the grass. But the sun's trying to break through. So once that burns off, everything should dry out until it rains. I'm just taking it slow. About another mile and a half. It's been hard going. But my pack cover's been working brilliant. Yeah, I didn't think of the tall grass. I didn't think it'd be this wet. I mean, look at my trousers from knee downwards. Just walking in this dew. The grass is just saturated with it. Right, and you can just see the mountain break through there. Whew. Right, let's push on. First river crossing. That's always low. Even in high rain, heavy rain, it's always low. Someone's been driving around making a mess here. Right, to the second one. If we can get across the second one, it makes our job really good. And the sun's coming out and it's going to get warm very soon, which is brilliant because it will dry dogs off, dry me off, and it'll dry some of the gear that got wet. Whew. Beautiful morning. Hard slog with a lot of gear. I could push on, but I'm not going to. Look at that muppet. She's getting wetter and wetter. Dear. You'll be shivering in a bit. She's happy. Well, we go across the second one, but no help from this one. I would have done it easy. You know, just take my time. But she was behind me causing waves, jumping in it. And it was splashing over my boot. So it's gone in my boot. Damn you. I'm going to kill you. Oh, we made it. I was looking around. Hey, leave that grass. You'll be sick. Some lovely spots here, but it's in the shade. Shade means two things. One, it'll be colder. And two, if there is midges, they'll be here. Now in the winter this would be nice, but again you've got to worry about trees coming down, and look, they do come down. One year I was here and there was about 20 down after a bad storm. Plenty of firewood. If I can find a way of getting a fire going later, I'll put one on the bank again and dry anything I need to dry off. I'm hoping the sun will come out and dry us off while I'm setting the tent up. Again, the grass is very wet. But we did, I should show you. Let me zoom it for a minute. Sorry. Doing everything with two hands. 366 miles, 3.66. 2 hours and 3 minutes. But I was carrying so much and taking it easy. The reason I'm keeping this limit of about 4 or 5 miles is for Stella. Again, I'll go into that later when we're all set up. I'd love to push on, but me and these two could do it, but I don't think Stella could do it. It'd be about another 3-4 miles because it's up to the lock and then it's round. We'll do that tomorrow. I've been driving all night. I'm not saying I'm whacked or anything like that, but it'd be nice just to rest. But everywhere's so overgrown. But you see about the shoreline, nice and dry. So we've done it in the past. Lit a fire there, it's not scorching the ground or anything like that. Just want to have a look around, see if, I tell you, I've seen no signs. I was here, was it last summer? And this grass was so flat because I remember that hook. But our spot where we had the hot tent is here, where the kit is. And that's not too bad. And once we start walking all over it, I'll flatten it down. Especially this little bit here. How are you? So I've got to get this down. Bit of vandal. So again, I'm looking where the tent will go. It's quite a big tent. We'll get out. Right, that's first thing, get the tent up, so just in case anything happens. and I'm hoping this mist and all that will burn off and the sun will come through these trees. See, there's gaps, and the sun will be coming this way, I'm hoping, and beaming on us and warming us up. The wind is supposed to be coming from a Silver Lake, so somewhere around there, I'm guessing. North, south, somewhere around there. But it's on all the weather maps I've watched, it's turning, it's changing, it's going northerly, southwesterly, westerly. It's spinning around like a compass, the winds. See what happens when you eat grass. Oh wait, I don't want it near camp. Go. Because if she's sick, it might stink. That's it. So, I don't want to be awful, but I don't want to be sick near the camp. Yeah, loads of grass. Look at her. Disgusting dog. What am I to do? Flooding my boots. Tripped me over in the water nearly. How she got tangled around my poles, I don't know. It's just eating grass, that is. Stupid girl. Good, stay over there while you're puking. You finished? She wouldn't eat her dinner this morning. No wonder why. Leave the grass alone. Right, I've got to set a tent up. And look at the views, we've got nice views. I've always liked this spot. Right, tent time. As you can see, got tent set up. Midges. As soon as that mist lifted, they come out of nowhere. And we walked up there just to check, see if there's any breeze anywhere. Nah, not. Look at the grass. No breeze, nothing. They're not terrible here and there, but still biting, little sods. This is the Robin's Lodge Pro 3. So Robin's Lodge Pro 3. Sorry, I'm a bit hoarse. Doing so much running around and driving and no rest or anything. 10,000 millimeter rated ground sheet, 5,000 hydrostatic head. So I've got insects all over me. Hydrostatic fly sheet. So 5,000 on top, 10,000 on the bottom. Stormproof. 2 entrances, can peel it back. That's what I was hoping to do. If there was a breeze, then we'll get some warmth radiating on the top and a nice breeze blowing through, keeping any insects out, but zero breeze. They're literally crawling on me. I don't know if you can see them. As soon as you stand, they start landing. It's only a few, but could be 10 times worse than that, maybe 100 times. Dogs are inside. Dried them off with the chamois. Got their dry sex drying. My boots don't feel too bad, to be honest. I'm going to keep my socks on because my feet might actually dry the socks out. It's not cold, you know what I mean? My feet feel actually warm. Everything laid out, stuff stuck inside. I want to have some lunch soon and have a rest, and hopefully the wind will pick up. But the main aim was to get, the tent set up just in case we get a storm. They're saying 12 o'clock, but they said there would be a breeze this morning. I mean, look, it's just barely moving, about 1 mile an hour. At least the sun's coming out, trying to come out. But it needs to get behind out of them trees. Thank God I didn't pitch up there in the shade. But it doesn't matter where you go. I could have gone on the tops, near Loch Dochard, but I've talked to people in the past and they said it's horrendous up there as well. Water's for the dogs. I've filtered some water. That's about it. Everything's done as such for any emergency, you know what I mean? So it's just a breeze. If a breeze pick up, I could sit down out here and enjoy the views and eat some lunch, have some lunch. But instead I've got to go in the tent and I'll be bringing some of them in. Thank God for midge net, That's about it. I haven't seen a soul, no signs of human activity. I went up the top there, no fire pits like there normally is. This doesn't look like it's been camped on, because trust me, you start seeing the signs of people pitching here, even though it does grow quite quick. I was looking in the mud tracks, and there was only one set of footprints, and they were coming from Glen Kinglass going towards Bridge of Orchy. No bike tracks or anything. And normally, you know, you can see bike tracks going back weeks. Sorry if you hear me rustling, it's me itching my hands. I'm just trying to find a breeze. Beautiful area. Beautiful area. Ah, I found a breeze. Where did that come from? Look. Hopefully it's picking up. Once you get a breeze, you see, nothing. The midges won't stay. And I can eat. I don't want to go inside. I want the dogs to rest. But that breeze is going to change if they're correct again. But look at the weather, it's just can't make its mind up, can it? But Scotland, normally what happens in Scotland, you don't get up about 7 or 8 o'clock, otherwise you're going to be eaten. You sadly have to stay inside your tent. Normally about 9, 9:30, maybe 10 at the latest. The breeze, it'll just come out of nowhere. It'll just suddenly pick up. But this morning, nothing. Right, looks like I'm hiding in the tent now. Get my boots on. So there I was, getting in my tent. And these must have come off the dog. Look at them outside. I don't know if you can, it's focusing. Don't think so. Sorry. No. Well, they're on the netting. Little sods. But they're everywhere. But they're not bothering us. Isn't that weird? Now all we need is a wind. I can open both, this is why I brought this tent. Open both doors and let the wind blow through. And we'll blow them out. You know, kind of bash in the side, well I don't want to do that. Bash in the side of the tent and they'll just flow out. And then we'll have an empty tent again. But at the moment they're not bothering us, which is good. But yeah, what happened to our wind? No rain either, thank God. But lovely spacious tent. I mean, look, you could, I purposely kept it shut so it'll build up heat, and it's working, it's drying the dogs off. It's quite warm in it. So I'm gonna have some rolls with some Lucasade. Don't know if it's focusing. And I'm gonna lie down and just rest my back and keep looking at them things drying, hoping the wind's going to pick up, like praying, literally. Otherwise we're going to have a really stuck in day, and if we keep going in and out, we're just going to have billions in here. I've checked everywhere, they're not coming in anywhere. Everywhere's all sealed up. So dogs are crashed out, played room, but of course Rebel always wants to lie against me when he could lie any way he wants. But at night it'd be better, because the only thing I've got, my pad will be here, so I'm going to have to keep lifting my pad up for them to go out. Otherwise they'll run over it and lightly puncture it. But can you pray for, look at them, millions out there. Shame it's not focusing on the mesh. I'm trying to get it. No, it's not going to do it. They're all waiting for dinner out there. But the ones in here are not bothering me. Shame they're a little spray you could just spray and they all drop. Then you could brush them into a corner without damaging the tent, that is. But in Scotland it's something you get to learn to live with. There's no cure. DEET does deter them when you're walking, you know, hiking. But I'm just looking to see if they're coming in anywhere, but no, I can't see where they're coming in. There's no holes. Well, checking. Must have just come off the dogs and off the gear. I had the gear outside and then I put it in. So, and I'm rambling and right. Early lunch. Well, it's not too bad, is it? 10:38. Again, it's not focusing. That's 10:38. And just like that, there's a breeze. So, open both doors. Keep slapping the sides. They'll fly and they'll kind of go out. They won't like the breeze. So if you see them settle inside the reef, just give them a good hoist. And I purposely set it with doors into the wind for this exact reason, because of the midges. Because it's structurally sound when you pitch it down. Dogs can do what they like now. There's a breeze. There might be some rain coming because we're getting a lot of kind of grey cloud. But that's fine because that'll keep the breeze up. You can feel it. I probably can hear it now. But it's quite warm in there. So I'm going to batten it down in a minute because I do believe rain will come, but I've got to make sure the midges are out. And then we should be midge free. Because they've disappeared again. But of course, once I batten, peg down the fly sheet, they'll hide underneath the fly sheet. So you mustn't open the inner and let the buggers in. But that's the whole reason I brought this tent. I've got another Rubens. Oh, by the way, I'll show you now. I got this for a really cheap price. And it had a little tiny minute hole. So I put some seam sealer and some repair tape there. Yeah, I think it's starting to rain. Right, I've got to go and sort this out. Amazing, 8 minutes. 8 minutes after I started eating my rolls and talking to you, the wind just picked up just like that. Unbelievable, isn't it? And about 20 minutes after the breeze came, the rain's come. But look inside my tent. Oh, one fly. No midges. So, people that always worry about midges. Oh, one midge, he's dead. Get a two-way tent like that opens both sides, so you can. You see, if you get a tunnel tent, that kind of like a funnel, the midges will all go to the back end, and you'll not be able to get them out. Not unless you lift the tent out and shake them out. But if you get a two-way tent like this, and as soon as the breeze picks up, open both doors, fluff up the sides like that, they'll all come out, flying out, and all of a sudden they'll go, get blown out. And then you can have a good night's rest, or good afternoon's rest in our case. So there's a tip for you. Silly one, but you know, sometimes the most obvious are the best ones, aren't they? So, and the other reason I set the tent into the wind is the vents are on the sides, and I don't want, just in case the rain comes, that gets blown under, it comes through. I can close the vents from inside. I can unzip here and just reach in. But the point is, you want ventilation. Hence why I've got this like this. Got all the gear in. I'm gonna rest now. We've had it all, ain't we? Mist or cloud inversion, sun, no wind, then wind, and then we got rain. I was going to take my boots off, but my feet are drying. The socks are actually drying with my feet. So if I take them off, my feet will be damp, my socks will be damp, and my feet will be wet, slightly wet, and I'll feel the cold more. I'm not going to change into my evening gear so early in the day because if I get that wet, then I'm kind of snookered. Same with the dogs. I'd love to put a blanket over them or like, it's not cold in there, trust me. And if I do feel it's getting a bit chilly, I can just zip up a bit. Their beds are turned upside down. Again, if the sun comes out later on, I can bring them out and let them dry out a bit. But their body temperature during the day should dry these out. But the grass is so wet out there, so they're going to keep coming in, making them wet anyway. But what I'll do at night is I'll flip them over when I know they're settling down, and then they'll have the dry end to lie on. But that's about it. Nothing else to tell you. I'm just going to lie back on this ground. It's not too hard. I've got a pad here behind me. Again, I don't want to put my evening sleeping pad out because they start running over it, getting it wet and messing it up, or even worse, putting a puncher in, then I'm going to be stuck. So it's just rest, relax. I've had some lunch, not much, but some. I've got to feed them in about an hour and a half, but to be honest, they don't look like that. And you'll know if they're cold, they start shaking, and look at them, they're fine. I would say in here, I should take the temperature to be honest, but I'd say in here it's about 10, 12 degrees, so it's not cold. Today, before I do go, today was expected to be the worst of the next 4 days. So this is the first day. The next 4, are going to be sunny and, you know, quite decent. And some are saying some decent temps, so it's hope, eh? Near the end, when we're coming back out, and probably be pitched here again, it's off and on with rain, like something like this. So I'm not too worried because we'll be going out. But I grabbed this window whilst I had the chance, and as I say, I'll let you know later the reason why I haven't been out for nearly 5 months. But I don't want to bore you with 20-minute long videos or anything like that. So I just thought I'd just show you, you know, anyone who's coming out to Scotland, they might be watching this and never done it before. I mean, the people who have done it understand all this, but, you know, check your weather. All of them will tell you different things, but try and make an estimate of what you think might happen. I was expecting rain for 12. It's 11, well, it's say 11 o'clock when it started. So I was an hour out, but I got here, pitched early, didn't push it with Stella, didn't push it with time to go further on, just decided to rest. Didn't expect the midges to be as bad, but it's Scotland, that's going to happen, you've got to live with it. But hence I came prepared with a 2-way door so I could blow them through. And lo and behold, the wind picked up and I did exactly that. It took about 2 minutes to get rid of them. And I'm surprised, there's just maybe one there. You can see one here. Dead. Oh no, he's got away. But even so, when they were in here, they weren't bothering us. Right, enough yapping. Let's have some rest. Brew time. Miserable out. Oh, a little bit of blue there. Been raining for the last 2 hours. I fell asleep, just lying on the bed, tent floor, with a pad on my back, if you can see it, and felt a bit cold when I woke up, so had to feed dogs anyway. Got the blanket out for Stella because it was getting a bit chilly. Not in here because of the tent, but because of the weather. We've been wet so much that every time we dry off, we just get wet again. So, but I knew today would be the worst of the next few days, as I said, so it was just a plan of getting here, making the best of it, and then hoping it sticks to plan for the next few days and warms up and we all can dry out and dry gear and everything. Hence why I never pushed it today. Tent's doing brilliant, but I would expect nothing better. I mean, it's not been tested or anything like that because it's just normal conditions. No leaks, thank God. Midge is all gone. There's a nice breeze outside. Dogs are being fed, as I said, and I put water out for them. See, I've got a solar panel, but I'm going to get no sun today to charge. So hopefully tomorrow the sun's better. So, coffee, let's get warm fluids in me, have something else to eat. Probably will put my mat up because lying on this floor it's quite cold, even though it isn't cold out. So, I'm going to have my coffee and something else to eat. Just been eating my tea cakes with a nice hot cup of coffee, and look, see the midge bites. God knows what my face looks like. Dear. Yeah, we're having tea cakes. When I say we, I'm trying to have. Remember, if you watch my magoos in the winter, we lived on these for about 15 hours in blizzards, deep snow, freezing temps. I had 6 of these and I split them up halfway through the march when it got dark and the conditions were really getting bad. And I split each portion the same for me and for each three dogs. And it kept us going. They didn't get food for 24 hours except for little portions of these. Don't forget, they walked that day something like 27 miles over 18 hours, and that was Stella included. Really bad conditions, but it just shows what the human body can do. Eating, I was filling tons of butter, kind of as a way to kind of pump in lots of calories, especially when you've been driving overnight. You want a quick food. I know it's not hot, but it's lots of rich goodies in there that would get your body burning, you know what I mean? And it sure got us through some really atrocious conditions. I think if it weren't for these and a bit of luck and also perseverance, then we would have been really in a mess that night. But we stuck at it and these got us through. But look at that. Right, gonna finish this. Oh, yeah. Nearly 5. It's been showers after showers after showers. Warm. He won't get covered. He never wants to be covered. He's a warm dog. He's got a jacket on anyway. I've refrained from using them back, so I'm quite relaxed, to be honest. Got a few hot drinks, a few little sleeps. Got dogs out when it calmed down for a bit and made sure they warmed up and did what they had to do. Made sure they got water. Last thing I might do is have a rest in here all day and then they're restless tonight. So try to get about, get fresh air and just stretch your legs. But as you can see, sometimes there's quite a good breeze, quite a strong one. Great tent. I've just been lying here some of the time, just listening to the rain, not thinking of anything. Definitely not thinking of anything at home or any social things or anything like that. Just listening and just watching. Been watching the rain bubbles on the top of the tent. I don't know if you can see them. Just silly things. And looking at the threads that I've got to tidy up with my first aid scissors. But apart from that, lovely tent. Plenty of space. See, you can get a really small tent. This is with dogs, sorry. I mean, if you're a single hiker and you just want a lightweight tent, something to pitch and then pitch, move. You know what I mean? That's fine. Get something nice and small, nice and tidy, and you're happy. But when you've got 3 decent-sized dogs, I'm learning that you need some space. Now, this tent probably weighs about 8.5 pounds, which is extremely heavy, really, to be backpacking or even trekking in. But it's well worth the struggle. I carried 62 pounds on my back, and I've got to be honest, with the pack, I was fine. It was not that pack that was causing the problems. It was that little pack I had to hold up because I couldn't lower it too low, otherwise it would be dragging on the floor. And plus it was going through all the wet grass, so I had to keep holding my hand up. And it was only 14 pounds, but when you're doing that, you know, constant and then swapping hands and doing it again, your hands get tired. So that was a pain. But the whole plan is that we do another stop off as I say, a base camp just near the base of the valleys. Dogs eat some food, I'll eat some more food, and the weight will come down, and hopefully I can transfer some gear to the dogs' packs, then some gear out of that small pack of mine into my pack, and flatten that pack down and strap it to the back of my main pack, and just have my helmet on the back. The helmet's I'm going to carry in, because if I do see something in the distance that's probably at a steep incline, I can wait for the dogs at the bottom and scramble up and double check. The last thing I want to do is call anyone out and there was some kind of weird shaped rock or something like that and make me look an idiot. So, and obviously my age, I'm not a climber, as I say, so caution at all times, you know, if you're going up steep slopes and all that, just in case you take a tumble. If you fall and break your arm, you'll get away with it, but if you fall and crack your head, you're done for. So, not worth the hassle. I'd rather be safe than sorry. I've got instead of a personal locator beacon, which I've used for the last few years, I've got a Garmin 66i. It's a two-way messaging service. It's got SOS and all that. It's got maps and everything, but I'm not so worried about the maps. It's the two-way messaging, because if I do locate the remains of any person, not just here, but any of my searches, and I'm like 8 miles in and there's no reception, I've got to kind of get out 8 miles, and with Stella, she can't do the 8 in and 8 back, so I'd be in a quandary, you know what I mean? I could eventually come back after 2-3 days and then alert the services, but then you've got to give grid references, and if anything, you made a mistake, you'll be searching for hours. With the two-way messaging service, I can send a message, pitch where nearabouts, give the grid reference, and wait for someone to come up, say bound to rescue, or maybe some people from the police, or maybe even the helicopter comes where what location is, to retrieve any persons, as I should say. So that was that. I mean, if it was just me and the other 2 dogs, I wouldn't be too worried. I could hike out, drop dogs off somewhere, and hiking with the rescue services. I'm fit enough to do that. But it's, you know, too much for Stella again. About 1 o'clock today, we had a drone flying over us. I don't know if someone's at the Clashgall hut and flown the drone up the river, had a scan around because it came up and then went back, or if it's the new management looking for their cows or something like that, or locating deer. It's the rutting season. September's rutting season, so we might hear a lot of noise from deer if they do start rutting. That's that. Oh, the other thing, I don't want this to be too long, but I was going to explain. The reason I haven't been out for nearly 5 months was, as you saw in the previous videos, at night Stella would seize up and tighten up and she'd be limping and look lame. But it looks really bad, doesn't it? Even though I know what's happening, but you never know if she's in pain. So before the last trip in March, I took her to the vet, and the vet prescribed her a pain relief medication, which is a controlled drug, gabapentin. I think it's known as Neuroton as well. I might be wrong on that. And she'd been taking that on that last trip, and I seen no side effects. And she was on that for the next 2 or 3 months, and she steadily declined. And when I mean declined, she looked heavily sedated. At the time, I was saying to the vet, I mean, she's just wasting away. And the vet said, oh, she's an old girl. It's you know, it's her age, bless her. She's had a good time and all this. And I believed it, you know. I was like, oh dear, poor thing, you know. I've got to face reality. She's not going to be here forever. So, and she was getting worse and worse. And she was doing like 3 miles with us, you know, during the day. Then she was doing a mile by herself. And then she was doing like, I don't know, 500 yards and back to the home. And then it got to the point over the months where she couldn't even make the back door. and couldn't get to the garden. She would go out about once to do a toilet and hardly drinking because it was just too much to get up. And I was panicking because I was thinking, like, is this a heart issue as well, or, you know, because of her age? And I kept saying to the vet, you know, there's something not right, you know, she seems to be, and the vet kept saying, yeah, but, you know, she's had a great time. And the vet convinced me that was age. So I rang the vet at one point and said, like, you know, I've seen enough. My dog is suffering. She's obviously in pain. Can we please, you know, book her in to, you know, end her suffering? And the vet, luckily, to change my mind, says, well, give it a little bit longer just in case, you know. And I went along with it eventually. And I was a bit frustrated because I really did want to end it because I didn't want to see her suffering. Anyway, we booked her in for about 3 weeks' time, and the days got closer and I was stressing up, and it was heartbreaking because you knew you were going, it was like someone going to a condemned execution or something, you know what I mean? You're waiting for the day to come and you're just dreading it. And the night before I was going to take her, I sat in front of her, sat in a chair in the dog room and looked down at her and I says, poor Stella, what are we going to do with you? You know, I just didn't feel, there was a nagging doubt in my head, something wasn't right still. I don't know why. I can't explain why I felt it, you know. It's not like I heard voices saying, you know, or someone pointed to her. Everyone was going, oh, bless her, you know, she's old, you're doing the right thing. And that made me feel even worse than people confirming what I was doing right. But anyway, so I thought, there's no point giving her any more drugs, you know, she's going to be put to sleep in the morning. So I took off the drugs and woke up next morning thinking, oh, you know, only hours to go. And when I woke up, she got up and she was wagging her tail. She looked much better. And I thought, how could you have improved like that? And then I realised it was a gabapentin. It's known to cause ataxia. I don't know if I pronounced that right, which is, it's in 3% of dogs. So what it is heavy sedation, miscoordination, wobbly, weak hind legs, apathy, everything, even depression, you know. And this is what I was doing to her. The drug was so powerful. And as I say, it's a controlled drug. They only released about, I think, 28 tablets at a time because it was controlled drug. So I never got any paperwork. You know, normally in drugs you get all this paperwork and you when you're bored you read through it, don't you? I never got any of that. The vet said, you know, like all drugs, I mean, this might make a little sleeping. But it's in the early days. They did say, you know, and never confirmed to me later on that could be the drug. So I thought, I'm not going to put her to sleep when she's getting better, you know. So I thought, we'll see, give it a couple of days and see if she improves even more. And lo and behold, she improved, wagging her tail, looking her bright self, eyes white, you know what I mean, looking more like Stella by the day. So I thought, right, I'm going to try and walk here now, you know what I mean? And I was only doing like 100, 200 yards, and she was doing it, struggling, but doing it. And then I kept extending the distance, and then within, from about 10 days from when I stopped taking the drug, she was doing 3 miles. And then I extended it a bit more, and it's 4 miles. And hence, I'm trying to keep that distance of 4 to 5 at the most, very most, for Stella. So, hence why I'm kind of gridlocked into that bracket at the moment, because it's only been 3 weeks since I took off the drug. So, she's slowly improving and getting her strength back. But don't forget, she's still 15. She's still no dog, and she still has pain. And the other thing is, one vet told me that it was not arthritis in the hips. It was one of her knee joints. I think I mentioned it the last time when I was out searching in March. So it's the knee I've got to watch and keep an eye on. Now, if she does aggravate it, that's fine. Just rest her. I mean, she never did nothing, basically, for 4 months. She got less and less. So I don't think out of that 4 months, 2 months, she ever got out of her bed all day and all night. And yet, once I got her back on her feet, as you've seen today, she's walked in. So, you know, that rest has done her good. So in her case, if I get home and she's a bit, you know, stiff in one leg, I can rest her. Now, on top of that, please, you know, understand, I know she's not going to live forever. And one day I'm going to have to face that time when she's going to leave us. But my point is, I want that time to be when she is doing it naturally, not from a drug that a vet is giving. And as I say, anyone can make mistakes, and I'm not condemning any vet or anything, but the thing is, I kept saying to the vet, there's something just weird with her, you know, I'm just worried about something because it doesn't feel right, you know, I don't see. But the vet kept saying to me, yeah, but she's old, she's that age, you know, she's done well, and it kept convincing me it was age. It was like the vet just didn't want to dig around in it because her age was 15, and well, what's the point? You know, she's had a good life, so it's not worry about it. You know what I mean? That was the impression the vet gave her. So that's the reason why I haven't been out for nearly 5 months. And trust me, it's hurt because I really wanted to crack on during the summer. Now, I've got a drone, got extra batteries, so I will get the drone up. I haven't had a chance to fly it because where we live, there's so many regulations. You know, you're in a town area, you can't, if you go out, you're in farmland, and farmers can complain because they think you do it up to something, you know what I mean? So I've had no chance to fly it, so this will be my learning curve. So I'm going to be learning on the job, so to speak. Hence why my pack is much heavier. Also got like carry these heavier blankets just to keep her warm, and even road gets a bit cold, but Rebel's never a problem. So that was too much to go into in the morning when I was setting off on the walk, but I thought it's best to explain it. So if members of the family are watching, I have never given up, you know, I've never stopped wanting to carry on this search. And the good thing is it gave me 4.5 months or so to clear my head from all my theories and analysis of this Neil Skinner case, and kind of just refresh and decide to now realise that it's going to be a long-term search. I can do it in different places, you know what I mean? I've got, as I say, the drone, I've got different areas I want to search in the future, but also have breaks, you know what I mean, and do other searches. I've got to start searching for Rust Kingham in Blair Fold, because I walked away from that one because there were so many people searching. I didn't want to cause any problems, you know, crisscrossing in front of them. But it looks like lots of people have now stopped searching in that area. And, you know, like it happens, that's life. And so I can go out and start searching and not tread on anyone's toes, so to speak. You know what I mean? I don't want to cause any problems because, you know, people do get funny. They do get iffy, you know what I mean? So I'll talk more about this Neil Skinner case and in the coming days and explain things. This is way too long. It's about 16 minutes, so I've got to kind of cut it short. But I just want to explain for the family members that are watching, I've not given up. I haven't kind of walked away and said, oh, I've had enough of that. It was just, my dog always comes first. Any of my dogs come first, sorry. And that is being selfish, you know, I'm just being honest with you. You know what I mean? It's always going to happen. It's like you having a family and all that. But I haven't given up. Hence why I got the drone, because I thought I've been asking, and no one's got up there with a drone, so I'm going to have to do it myself. But someone's been in contact with me and said they have been through YouTube saying they have been out in the area and tried to do some searching and will be coming back, so that's good, and I'm hoping they'll get back to me. The other thing is, I was searching with a friend, I don't know if it was March, the one before March, I can't remember how far back it was, and the guy that was searching with was called Derek, and we got on really well, and I don't normally mix with people, you know what I mean, I like to be kind of alone with my dogs, but he was a really nice guy. We got on really well, we had some laughs, and we all going through different theories and all that about the Neil Skinner case. And at the same time as Stella, or just before Stella started getting ill, poor Derek got ill, and he's going through a rough time. I won't go into the facts, it's personal, it's his personal life, so I'm not going to go into it, but he got quite ill. Luckily he's on the mend from what I'm hearing, and I hope he gets better soon. So best wishes to you, Derek, and hope you'll be back out searching with me in the near future. Finally had a break. Left Stella in the tent. She's just back there. Probably got some more rain coming in. Don't know, you can't figure it out. But we're just stretching our legs, giving these some energy to burn up because these need to burn it. There's the rickety bridge. Got lead with me just in case we come across anyone. You know, the minute you switch off is the minute something happens, isn't it? So, just going for a walk, gander. Stella will protect the tent. She'll soon bark and growl if someone goes near the tent. But let's be honest, very rare you're going to get a problem in the middle of nowhere, isn't it? You're more at risk in towns. But I thought, I've got to stretch these legs, you know what I mean? Not just mine, but these two. Oh, you don't want to shut. Rev or leave them left? Can be a wild place at times. Even though I've never classed this section, this part, as wilderness or anything like that, because it's normally quite a busy trek. Especially this time of year, you'll get hikers and bikers. I'm looking at marks now. Looks like quad or something's been up here. So, if anyone's figuring out what I've covered all that plantation all the way to the end and to the back. I've come in from Clashcore Hut, the back track that leads to the farm, which is about somewhere about there behind them trees, and then I've come up and I've gone up that pass you see there, but not the one to the right going right up that steep part, but the one that goes up the left and goes behind this I don't know what it's classed as. It's called a small mountain. Just I can't remember what it's called, Corbett or something like that. But anyway, round the back of that, and then come up on the tops, up there, just short of the summit. It's probably I don't know if I can give a figure in. Probably about there. Probably it hasn't done you any good. Where that white cloud is, probably just about there, looking down at the loch from up there. And I've been checking along that. Sorry, my fingers getting away. Checking between that gap there, between the small mountain, and that little mound there. But I've got to use the drone all over this side of that small little mound. But I've covered all that plantation. I've been up through these plantations with two friends, but we haven't finished all the bits we need today. We've been up, there's a valley that leads up here behind this set of mounds or whatever you might call it, up to a waterfall, and then it comes to a dead end because it's very steep. We've scanned all this area here, all the way up to the lot. Me and a volunteer, we scoured all the area there where the waterfalls are and rapids and all that on both sides. Because we had to kind of hop over some stones. Luckily it was quite a dry summer. I've been up this sorry, I'll bring you down again. Been up this plantation all the way along to the area where we thought Neil might have gone over the fence, possibly, very small possible. And then we've scanned all around the loch except the very northern part, which oh God, don't tell me it's going to rain again. Yep, I've already gone. Hopefully it's going to blow over quick. But I haven't done the northern side of the loch. There's an area behind the loch at the back end on the northern side I haven't scanned, and that's something I possibly could do with the drone, but we'll see what happens. But there's certain various areas. Now, as I say, with the Neil Skinner case, there's always the slightest chance or possibility. I'm not saying it happened, I'm just being honest, you know. It's time to be honest and open about everything. That he walked out for whatever reason, walked out from Loch Dochard, left everything, and he had these, you know, he was mentally willing to do it, you know what I mean? He wasn't wandering or anything like that, and he just walked out, and for whatever reason, and then something could have happened from there. He could have been, you know, something could have happened miles away, or he could have decided to go missing. So that's like a 5% chance. It's say something realistic like that. After having time to chill out, walk away from it, because it does devour you, you know what I mean? When you first start these searches, you think, oh, you know, you're naive, you think, oh, give it a couple of days, we'll find it. You know, you're very naive. I think we all are like that. Then you realise you kind of get a plummet, and you go down, crashing, when you realise it's not going to be an easy task, and you realise how much mountain rescue up against when they do it. And then you come up with all the hundreds of theories, you know, so you follow these theories and think, maybe today I'll find them, and they all come crashing down. So I think it's going to be down to a lot of luck, chance. The one thing I would say, while I was away, I was watching all these Coast Guard search teams using helicopters, which they did here. They had all the latest helicopters going up and down, all along the river line, round the loch and all that. And as you see, they have heat-seeking cameras and I don't know, infrared and all kinds of, they have about 6 types of camera. They can zoom in on objects and everything. All the latest technology, anything that stands out a bit abnormal. And they never found anything. Then he had drones that search dogs. So the only thing I would say to that is maybe he's not in the areas where everyone thinks he is, you know what I mean? So that then means he's in an area where these helicopters ain't scanned, which means you know, to that north, the valleys, which it's a long way to go, even though it's a short distance, but you know, it could have happened, hence why I want to get these higher areas done. And then there's also the possibility he went down towards Glenkinglass to where his friends were, and somehow wandered off to the sides from the outer range of where the helicopter scanned. So it's the one area I have not even thought about searching or looking at. So there's also that possibility. So my point is, if the helicopter's been up and down, sweeping all the way down, all the way back to where Loch Dochard is, and all the way down to the lodge, Glenkinglass Lodge and beyond, and not located him or anything that could be possibly near, then with all their technology, and the drones have been up and down, and they've had search dogs all around the loch and all this area, then what's the chances that everything's missed him? Unless, as I say, something happened, he got tucked away, or you know, something weird happened and he's out of view as such. That's another possibility. But I'm now leaning to the point that he's pushed further in somewhere, either that way or that way, and hence the helicopters have not been scanning there. They've not gone to that range, and I don't mean miles in, pushed in, just out of range of where the helicopter scan. So that is a high chance that the helicopters actually were up and down, but they didn't widen, you get what I mean? Obviously due to restraints on manpower, time, fuel, you know, other call outs, etc., and weather conditions. Rogue? Not down there. I don't want to get mucky. We're just going for a walk. I'm just trying to burn some of these out. Here. Oh, are you searching? I'm never going to put them off if he's looking for something. What you got? Let's pick something up. What are you doing? So you got to be careful you don't distract him from picking something up. So, I mean, once he went up here and onto the top and he was fussed about something on the top there, and I found blood trail along this track here one year, and there was some bones up there, obviously something wild like a bird of prey or something like that, captured something, and we picked up the scent of the trail and went up onto the top there, so got on it. He's the one that's nosy, but there again, you know, we write Rogue off and she could do it. So again, I'm probably rambling on, but yeah, so that's my new theory, that I think, me personally now, walking away and having a cold light of day and kind of refreshing my mind, I still think, sadly, something happened to him around here. I'm not going to go into what any views. I've got bored of doing that now. It's just a case of searching and changing different directions and hoping one day we get a stroke of luck. But I will be back. It's good because while Stella is at her age, I can't do 10-15 miles because it'll kill her, you know what I mean? So with searching, it's great. We can do 4 or 5 miles and base camp, and then rest of like I'm doing now and take these searching. So that's why I'm doing this tonight, is getting her used to us walking away, and we're not leaving her or she's not being dumped or anything. She'll get used to it. So killing 2 birds with 1 stone, training these. Rogue, leave the grass alone, you'll be sick like you were earlier. So training her to understand that we will wander off sometimes and she'll be all right. Getting these burn up some energy. In the future, these will be searching when we walk away. It's just we've covered all this, but I'm just walking up this way just in case. You never know, we might pick something up. Something might draw them to somewhere. Rebel's always got his nose into everything. As I say, all this area, even though the other side of the river has been scanned by other volunteers and myself, we've been up to these waterfalls, done all them. I've been on the tops, as I say, in between the 2 mounds there, up the back valley, all through the plantations. We walked like one winter, probably last winter, wasn't it, through along the other side of that fence and through there, and checked some boulder areas. Oh, the sun's coming out. How nice is that? I've lost the dog. Rebel! Oh, just worry. Sometimes he'll pick something up and follow it, and I'm rambling. I'm not going to pull him away but I know what he was doing. He was just sniffing around at some bushes. You'll know when he found something because he won't recall so easy. He'll be stuck into something. And sadly, if there's a bone, he'll pick a bone up. I haven't trained him how to let go of a bone because we've only found deer skeletons a couple of times. You'd think in Scotland you'd find loads of bones, wouldn't you? But just shows how birds of prey or whatever. But any bone we've found, it's never been a human, or I've always been able to see and realise it's a deer or something smaller. But it's something like this, when you're doing just a walk, that with a bit of luck, something could happen, you know. So you've got nothing to lose. Plus with the eye, but the problem is at this time of year the grass grows and all the greenery is kind of shooting up. It's better in winter when everything dies down, and then you can pick things up, because like something could be in there and you look at it, it's about knee deep in grass. So as I say, it's down to luck. And I'm all scanning and looking while I'm even chatting to you. So yeah, that's regarding that, Neil Skinner. I've now got no theories, just searching. You know, we went through so many, and just there's several parts of the story that are very confusing, but again, I've covered that already. I'm not going to go over it. It's so grand now. The whys, hows and whats and all that don't matter. It's the fact that he's missing. And as I was saying, 5% chance he did walk out, but me personally now, sadly, I do believe he's somewhere here. The reason that I came to that conclusion is there was a guy that went missing near Aviemore. I can't remember his name. I will put it on the screen. I should remember it, but I've had so many names in my head, you know, people go missing over the last couple of years. And the last known location of this guy that went missing, he was seen walking out of a club. It's a well-known story in Scotland, you know, that, or when I say story, I don't mean that in a derogatory term, I mean a report, should I say. That's better. But he walked out a club where he was working or drinking, I can't remember the full facts. And at 3 a.m, it was heavy snowfall, it was freezing temperatures, but he walked out without a coat, without anything basically, and was seen heading down towards the A9 from Aviemore. And someone managed to pick up some foot tracks leading into a field, and then due to the weather conditions and the storm blowing, the snow covered the tracks. It looked like they stopped in the middle of the field, but what happened is the snow drifting had covered over the tracks further up, and that was the last known location. So search teams are out, volunteers, hundreds of people. It was really liked in Aviemore, so lots of people gave their free time and volunteered to search for him. They had helicopters, drones, all the stories, you know, dogs, police, everyone, because it was not in wilderness, it was right near I don't know if it's a town or village, Aviemore, but you know, built up area, but just on the edges. And they searched all around the area where the footsteps, never found him. I don't know how long it went, over a year, 18 months, something like that. And a dog walker found, sadly, the remains of this guy curled up next to a tree within meters, I'm not sure, 100, 200 meters of where them footprints were. Now, how do they miss this guy? I don't know. I mean, it's so hard. This terrain is so hard, and you know, the lumps and bumps and all that. You can miss things. You can be 10 feet from it. It's all down to luck. As I say, this dog walker, and what it was, that field was a dog park where people would walk their dogs. You know, these enclosed areas that designated for dogs. Then people hire them or whatever for so many days, and you can walk your pets and all that. But sadly, the guy, was found curled against a tree. Now the theory is, questions, why? Why did he walk out of that club in freezing conditions with snow, in just a jumper, no coat, walked all the way towards the A9, cut across the field, and then huddled against the tree when he would know it was only about a mile and a half, 2 miles at most away from where he'd left, you know. And it's not like in wilderness or anything, there's roads and everything, so why? This is the thing. It doesn't make sense, and because it doesn't make sense, it confuses us. Things happen, and sadly, all the searching everyone done everywhere else. Well, it's windy up here. Beautiful. All the searching everyone done further afield was a complete waste of time, because it was no more than a couple hundred meters from where them footprints disappeared in the field. So, and the police were searching lochs and I think disused quarry areas or something like ponds, everything. Dive teams around, helicopters, as I say, everything. And you know, you always hear this where people go missing and then they're found not far from where they went missing. So hence why I've been around that loch and the surrounding area so many times, hoping that maybe I missed something and I can stumble upon it now. But that's why it kind of widened my eyes up to, it doesn't matter how many search teams have been out and how many helicopters and all that, things do get missed. So we just got to do different routes so they kind of crisscross and intersect, so we don't go out searching the same lines, you know what I mean? And hopefully, with a bit of luck, as I say, we'll come across, or sadly the remains of it. That's another thing. Bodies can mummify in this soil, so they don't necessarily kind of degrade as much as we think they do. So even after this time, out of breath, ain't been doing it for 4.5 months. Let's rev it on. Woo! Don't mind him wandering, as long as he's nearby. I've done a good walk there. I should have marked it, shouldn't I? I didn't time it. But I'm just getting Stella used to us being away, as I said. So, another 21 minutes. Videos are far too long. But I just want to show you, anyone that's recently subscribed or started watching the videos, just want to keep you up to date. Others have been following through the months, so you'll know what I've been up to. But that's where we're going up over the next few days, up that passes and over the tops and back down through the other path. So I'll bounce you about. The weather's supposed to be good, so I want to do it before the snows come, which we're not far off, to be honest. And that sounds crazy in September, but this area can turn quite quickly. And these seasons have been weird lately. That's another reason why I got the Garmin 66. I can get weather updates. That's something I've been really needing. You know, about 5-6 years ago, you could more or less have seasons. In recent years, we're not having seasons, we're having more or less kind of craziness. I'm just looking around. Sorry, whilst I'm talking to you, I'm just looking around and seeing if I spot anything different or anything. I've been up here so many times now that you get to know, I wouldn't say that every item, but some of it will bounce out and touch you, you know what I mean? And you go, oh, that's different. I can see I've got to look in there and around them rocks and all that. Just something different. Just, we've got the time. I'm burning some energy off them, so I haven't brought on that hiking post, so I hope there's no hole. Alright, I'll get back to you in a minute. Lots of holes in there. Very iffy. Didn't bring a pole, did I? And I didn't bring my Garmin. What an idiot. I didn't plan to do this. So, this is me ad hocing. I'm not going to do much. Just a bit curious. I've covered this, but you know, coming in different angles. We've been all around there. That's where the waterfalls and the rapids are, and there's some more rapids around there. We found a little hidden cave around here, only a small one, but again, where anything could hide. I don't want to go across the ground too much because there's so many hidden holes, and the good thing with a pole, it can balance you, you know what I mean? So if you find something, you can kind of do a hop skip. So don't forget, we're not looking for a great big mass. It could be something just poking out, or you know, silly. Criticising myself not bringing a pole and my garden. Whole point of having it, isn't it? Fool, Bill. Yeah, we've been across there. I mean, one of the early volunteers, all around that backside, all along there, all around here. Rebel's doing what he does well. Good. Go find Rebel. Go find. Look at him. He's good, isn't he? I'm covered in some sticky bud flies. Main thing is I'm watching the ground on my feet. Nothing. He's picked up something's been on there. I'm sure there's a wildcat around here, because I think in one of the videos I told you I heard something scream, and I thought maybe it could be a bird of prey, but it screamed like a cat, you know, like a wildcat. Not in there. Rebel, not in there. He's going to go splashing. I don't want to get soaked. As I say, we've covered all along the river and all that. It's just areas here, dead ground, that maybe we might have missed. Rebel, get up. It's rolling in it. Alright, put you away so I can watch where my feet are going. Whew. That's warmed me up. Good. We've got some rain coming in. So heading back. Before we get drenched. We'll probably will get drenched near the end. But another search I need to do, believe it or not, how uncanny is it? There was a guy called Glyn Smith who went missing, I believe 2022, near the Orchy Bridge area, an area that I know quite well. I don't know if you're getting terrible wind noise. He was seen near, is it Ben something? There's a lock up there. I can't remember the name. Again, I'll put it up on the screen. Walking around the lock up there when he was on the Cape Raft Trail. And it seems he was seen there for about a couple of days, which either says he had an extra time out day, or some kind of confusion, or I don't know, maybe he turned back, or if he did, he would be heading back to the schoolhouse Buffy in that area. So things to look at there. But once you get on the Cape Raft Trail past that lock, oh god, what's the name? Can't think of the name, but as I say, I'll put it on the screen. It really is wilderness up there, so if you get lost up there, you really are in a pickle. But he's supposed to know what he's doing. Yeah, here comes the rain. We're gonna get wet. At least the dog's had a run. Back to normal position. Rebel, leave your bits. Nothing worse than listening to him licking his private parts, is there, when you're in a tent? I'm actually quite sweaty. Last bit I was running around because I dry dogs off, get jackets on, get them in, get some other bits here, pegs, for get their food organised for later and tomorrow morning. And when I was doing that, the wind just stopped and the midges came out. So I had to do it really fast without Rebel. She's clean, leave her alone. But she's going, please clean me a bit more. She was fine, got back. She weren't whimpering or murmuring or anything, so good. She knows we can go and we'll come back. Hopefully the wind comes back, because I've got to feed them in about an hour's time. It should get dark around 8:05, and normally that's when the wind does die down. But if we have to do it with midges, we'll do it. What I'll probably do is feed them in here and then let them go out, get a drink or whatever. Then I'll do anything I need to do. And I need to bring a battery pack and things like that in. And I can set up for the night and just crash out. I've got a bottle of water nearby, just outside the door. I don't need no more food. I'm stodged up with buns and fruit cake and God knows what else it was. I don't eat that much at home. Yeah, just the midges as the normal, but you have to endeavour and find ways around them. So that went well. Just remember to bring my Garmin and a pole, at least one pole. Idiot, and I. Right, I'm gonna leave you. 8:30, and we're all settled down. I'm in my bed, on top of my sleeping bag. Got my Corinthia sleeping bag, synthetic, so even if it gets wet, I'll be fine. So I've just got to charge my phone, got my lighter. Got my socks drying, clothes that are damp up top there, hopefully they're air up top, boots are outside, socks, yeah, they're wet. Hopefully I can get them on a stone or something if the sun comes out tomorrow morning and dry them out a bit more. Midge wise, not too bad. They're in, but not many. But I hope it gets cold tonight, because if I let the dogs out about 12 o'clock, then that would be crazy if it's not cold. They'll all swarm around us. Got 2 vents open, this little vent, but I'll probably close this because it will get cool later on. With the 2 vents I found today, that was more than sufficient. They work really good. They work better than like a tunnel tent, one each end, which is supposed to blow through, but for some reason these, I think it's the size of the tent as well, so big, cavernous inside, that it really vents well. Just wish my socks were dry. What I'm doing tomorrow is put them on damp if they are damp and get them to dry on me. I've got spare ones, but the spare ones are emergencies. This is not emergency. Best, apart from the midge net, the best thing I've been using today is that chamois. Every time the dogs walked in and damp tent floor, just chamoised it over, all up. Again, leaving it up there, hopefully it dries out a bit. Tomorrow morning. No rush tomorrow. We've only got about 3.5, maybe 4 miles to do at the most. Hopefully pack will be a bit lighter, not much. Then the plan is to kind of get to that area that I camped just near the valleys, pitch in the open there so we get plenty of wind hopefully, and if it's dry enough in the afternoon, get the drone up and scan around that area that I've always wanted to scan. That's just, I don't know, boggy, high marshland. I doubt if I see much because the vegetation's grown so much, but you just never know, do you? So, at 20:32, and loads of midge bites on the end, I'm calling it a night. Night, everyone. See you in the morning.